Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to react to, did No Limit peak too soon? No Limit Records. Nah. You already know. Did they peak too soon? Nah, I think they had their run. I think what it really was they had too many artists. And having too many artists, it's not a bad thing from a business standpoint, but from just but when you already got your made superstars, it's best to just stick with what you got and build on some guys. Instead of just picking up on all these local acts and then trying to make them something, it was better off if he just stuck to the main guys, which was, Fiend, Mia X, C Murder, Silk the Shocker, Snoop, Soulja Slim, you know what I'm saying? Mac. He and himself pretty much. I think Master P just had too many chefs in the kitchen, man. There's too many chefs in the kitchen, man. That's what the real problem was with No Limit. There's too many chefs in the kitchen, and they really should have just grew their superstars out. But another thing too is a lot of guys just started to leave after a while. So that's another problem too. A lot of guys just started to leave after a while. Mia X walked out, and a lot of other people just started walking out. Bees by the pound left, so now you lost your in-house producers. So yeah, a lot of shit happened. Anyways, so let's get right into this video.
No Limit Records, active since 1991. Origins, Richmond,
Mr.
California,
Ice Cream
New
Man.
Orleans, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Today's feature is a record label that is one of the most influential in urban entertainment history. There's no questioning No Limit's greatness throughout the 90s and their peak and dominance specifically toward the end of the decade.
Yes, sir.
In 1998 alone, No Limit released a total of 23 albums, 6 went platinum and 5 gold, selling a total of 15 million copies, making an astounding $160 million by year's end. Label founder Master P's strategy of flooding the market was in peak form to say the least that year, and the demand for the pen and pixel artwork, cleaned up street gangster lyrics, and beats by the pound created its own chapter in hip-hop for No Limit Records. I always felt like Master P was really the first 50 Cent in a way, in that his hustle and underrated strategy allowed even the weakest artists to have success under No Limit's reign and umbrella. Artists like Silk the Shocker, who many feel is one of the worst rappers of all time, although I disagree. Silk has back-to-back platinum albums in 98 and 99, the latter a #1 album in the country. I believe most of all that irony speaks to the machine No Limit Records was, much times larger than even the artists it sold and represented. I say all this to give Master P his credit for being one of hip-hop's best historical representations when it comes to building a strategy yet to be seen at that point in hip-hop and seeing it through to as popular as it became, where the competition at the time and labels to follow adapted pieces, even most of the strategy to have their own success. Labels like Bad Boy Records, a legend in their own right, and at one point No Limit's biggest competition, reminds me strategically a lot of No Limit in a strong business-minded head and a high quantity of music released in such short times that made the most profit. Cash Money Records as well, who came after No Limit and took their label to the place No Limit could have went as far as longevity. Even Bad Boy didn't have the longevity of a Cash Money Records, with 2 of the biggest male hip-hop artists ever in Lil Wayne and Drake, and the biggest female hip-hop artist ever in Nicki Minaj still signed to the label. It's impressive the heights Master P has been able to reach and the accomplishments of his artists, especially when they didn't have a blueprint to follow for the strategy the label chose. With the business mind of Master P, I'm surprised No Limit didn't find a way to dominate in the 2000s the same, or no longer have that presence in hip hop today.
They could have. They could have. Like I said, everybody left. Mystical went to go through his own thing. When Mystical left, look what happened to Mystical. He had the biggest hits of the 2000s, bro. At the beginning of the 2000s, bro. At the beginning of the 2000s, Mystical had the biggest hits. Shake your ass, but watch yourself. Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with. 10 all y'all players and pimps right now in the place to be. I thought I told y'all niggas before, y'all niggas can't mess with me. This ain't for no double D, no shirt, no kind of wear. Girl, you gotta do me this one and never go shake your hand. Then you had damn, what happened at then Snoop left. Snoop left. Once they let Snoop leave, Snoop went on to become the biggest superstar of all. Is the most iconic rapper of all time at this point in time. Then you had damn, who else? Well, I mean, they had Romeo. Romeo could have worked out if they marketed him better. I mean, they did have the TV show, but come on, man. They could have did more. They should have had. He should have been pumping out hits with that TV show. The TV show was enough, especially when you got Bow Wow out here dominating fucking BET and shit. You had Bow Wow dominating BET. Romeo should have been right there with him. But nah, they focused on the TV show more than they focused on the music. That's really what hurt them. Like Romeo was the best blueprint they had going for them, and they didn't follow it.
What happened?
But allegedly, it's a rumor that Master P finessed the record labels, took the money and just dipped and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just do me." That nigga finessed the fuck out the record labels and dipped. He said, "I ain't even finna do this music shit no more."
Happened. How this great strategy / label fall? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunner Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. No Limit Records was founded in 1991 by Master P and filed for bankruptcy by 2003. But in that span, their success was unprecedented. Master P was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, a natural hustler, and always had the vision of using whatever he could to achieve financial success. A businessman at heart, his first vehicle was basketball, which he used to get him a scholarship to the University of Houston, where he soon dropped out and transferred to Merritt College in Oakland, California to study business. There, he opened a record store called No Limit Records and Tapes from a $10,000 inheritance. After his brother died, he decided to venture more seriously into building a rap career and label. One that aspired to make the most money out of the business, not necessarily chasing acknowledgement or awards for being the best rappers. As Master P once said when interviewed in 1999, once you've developed an audience, you take everything you got and milk it, which is the hustler thing to do. But what happened when they milked their cash cow too much? It died and left No Limit scrambling. Stunt number 1, quantity over quality.
I wouldn't say that. Yes, they were producing albums every goddamn week, every goddamn month. But you can't really say quantity over quality. You can't really use that argument because even though there was a lot of quantity, there was still a lot of quality. Come on, man. You can't really say that, bro. I don't agree with that one statement. I don't agree with this statement at all, bro. This can't be the first one, bro. I would have said losing all the artists as the first one. The first one is losing the artists. Or really, I would have started off with losing Beats by the Pound in the first place, then losing all your artists. That's where I would have started.
To me, Master P's statement made to Fortune magazine at the height of No Limit makes a lot of sense in hindsight, because that's exactly what he did over the years, rarely concerned how the music would be critiqued or how long it lasted over the test of time. His focus was to put out as much albums he could as a label, so no matter how they did, or how fans felt about it, or how blogs reviewed it, they were guaranteed to make a substantial profit. He even used this same approach in his movies and products. Having as many as possible put out was more important than any of them being good. He was in the perfect era to do so because of how getting music to consumers worked back in the 90s. In those days, you had to actually go out and buy physical albums. There was no streaming from a website or even illegally downloading them from the internet just yet.
No, you didn't. No, they said it was. You just had to know where to go. See, people didn't know where to go. They kept piracy on the down low. In the 90s, in the late 90s, when the internet was around, they kept piracy on the low because they didn't want people to find out about it. Then the shit get taken down and motherfuckers start going to jail. But then fucking Napster came along and that changed everything.
Once you bought the album, they as a label made a certain percentage. It didn't matter how you felt about the album, how well it was reviewed, how much mics the source gave it, or even if you turned it into a weed plate because you hated it. That $10 to $15 was spent and set money was made regardless. Today, with streaming the main music supply to consumer, you can listen to an album one time or one song from the album a few times, decide it's not for you, and it costs you little to no money, while the artist gets paid pennies on the dollar and are dependent on the amount of streams they receive. This makes sales much more unpredictable and as a businessman would have likely frustrated Master P. With that said, he decided to milk that era he was in and put out increasingly more music per year than anyone else. As he says, he never wanted to be the best lyricist, he wanted to be the best businessman, the best hustler, and I think that hurt the quality of their releases, also the development of their artists. They all sold early in their career, but found it hard to build a loyal fan base that could last after it was realized they could care less about making great music. This is why they didn't have a successful rapper in the 2000s other than Lil Romeo, who had a popular start, but even he was disappointing, never going platinum and just one gold album.
They only focused on his goddamn TV show. Once he got on Nickelodeon, they said fuck. Once he got on Nickelodeon, they said fuck the music. TV is where it's at. We making money on TV. We on Nickelodeon. Nah, bro, you still could put the music out, but they never. They let us down so much, man.
Stunt number 2, not developing a future.
Okay, yeah.
In that same mindset of milking the game while you can came a very costly mistake for the No Limit brand. In the process of becoming rich, they didn't have a plan for the future. Like asked earlier, when that cash cow dies from being over milked, what will you have then? No Limit found their cash cow in rap music, even branched out to finding other cows like movies, products, books, investment classes, and whatever else, but they didn't see to it that those cows reproduced in their prime in order to secure they eat in the future as well. Before Lil Romeo came along, Silk the Shocker was their flagship youthful artist, and even he by his second platinum album was in his mid-20s. His prime rap age, and would only release 2 albums in the 2000s, one in 2001 and one in 2004. Both didn't even achieve gold status. This is one area I credit most to Cash Money in how they saw that flaw in Master P's strategy and made sure they took some Jermaine Dupri lessons focusing on the youth as a way to always remain young and relevant in the game. Cash Money had Turk and Wayne when BG and Juvie were the main artists of the now as their future. Wayne ended up being the best thing to ever happen to Cash Money and even reproduced in Drake and Nicki Minaj, who became the stars of today. No Limit only had Romeo, and he himself I don't think ever naturally wanted to be a rapper. When his career faded, No Limit was cooked as far as a future. Master P focused too often on getting what he could in the moment and overlooked the process of setting up longevity. Because of this, the label failed in that department, especially when Master P realized there was other ways to make the same kind of money. Stunt number 3, losing their sound. Another underrated element to why the popularity and relevance began to run out entering the 2000s was No Limit losing their sound, literally. In 1999, No Limit's production team Beats by the Pound, that included producer KLC, who produced some of No Limit's biggest songs and albums like Make 'Em Say, F the Mother, Ice Cream Man, Ghetto D, True to the Game, and much more. Apparently, Master P wanted his producers to sign to him long-term as artists, but when they refused, he could be overheard saying negative things toward them allegedly, and they all decided to venture off outside No Limit. From there, No Limit's sound completely changed and didn't have the same simplistic appeal. Many No Limit artists also became frustrated being ordered not to work with those producers and weren't comfortable working with others. The No Limit sound and image was the brand, maybe even bigger than its artists. So losing that most important feature, No Limit became just like everyone else in sound, seeing as now they had to go out and get beats from outside producers who usually duplicated beats or a new sound and sold it to whoever was buying. All in all, No Limit had a successful run lasting through the 90s and sprinkles in the early 2000s. But the same things that brought them success also caused their demise. A strong will, hustle, business-first mindset, and stubbornness by Master P. Something you need to survive the music business, but something that didn't allow necessary change and resulted in a lot of music, but hardly lasting quality of work. Either way, legends in the game, so I have to say, salute, much respect. But for these reasons, their growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I still don't agree with the quantity over quality. You can't use that one. You can't use quantity over quality because there was still quality in that quantity. There was still hits being made. There was still radio play. There was still songs that was bumping in the streets, nigga. It didn't matter, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. The album may not been good, but there might have been like 2, 3, 5 good songs on there. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't even bring up Snoop. He didn't bring up Snoop. He didn't bring up he didn't bring up Mystical. He didn't bring up nobody. He just went in. Come on, dog. You rushed to put this one out, didn't you? I would have went a little deeper than this if you gonna say that they peaked. And I agree they did peak in the 90s, but like I said, if they would have just focused on if they would have just focused on Romeo, I would still do the TV show. I still do the Nickelodeon show, but I still have Romeo in the studio making hits to the best of our abilities. Another thing too, I wouldn't even have a beef with Bow Wow. I would try to get in the studio with Jermaine Dupri and make a joint album with the two. And then make it seem like it's a beef when really it's a joint album. So you're creating drama, but you're making an album with both of them at the same time. I would have got on the phone with Jermaine Dupri to see if we can make something happen with Bow Wow and Romeo. Instead of them just organically just end up beefing because the media been trying to pit them against each other. Come on, man. That's just me, though. Like I said, they should have capitalized. Like I said, Master P tried to capitalize on everything, and he milked it for as much as he could. He did jump into other avenues around that time. He was playing basketball. Then he started a sports agency. Then he had the clothes. Then he started doing other things. He was going crazy with the movies. Yeah, man, it was a lot. So yeah, I would say that it had a lot to do with Master P and his stubbornness. He was a little stubborn, but at the same time he was ambitious. So you can't really get mad at him for it. You can't really get mad at a dude for being that fucking ambitious. So I mean, if that's how you see it, that's how you see it. That's just me though. But anyways though, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you. Till then, peace out.